Hello everyone, my name is Scott from Primal. I've been in the ecological approach now for 5-6 years. We opened a gym almost 5 years ago, for better or worse, wholly committed to trying the ecological experiment. So I'm just delighted that there's coaches and students, and it's really gaining a lot of traction here. I'm interested in the MMA side and the striking side, which has a whole other set of challenges. If there's any striking or MMA coaches among you, I'd love to get together later and see how you're maybe trying to solve that puzzle too. One thing I want to reassure you all, because I hear you asking Greg a lot of the same questions and a lot of specific questions, is I do want to reassure you that what works for Greg in his gym probably won't work for you in your gym, and it wouldn't work for me in my gym. So you've all got to find what works for you over time. And we can share these principles and we can share these concepts. Obviously, it's great to emulate Greg and take some kind of tips and stuff away, but don't get married to these concepts. If ecology is telling us anything, it's very, very complicated, and it takes time. And rather than try and force it and copy other people, what we're going to end up doing if we do that is we're going to create the same monster that we're trying to get away from, right? So today I wanted to do a little bit. I had quite a few things lined up, and I had to rewrite some of my plan because it kind of overlapped with Greg. We didn't do a good job communicating that. But I want you to put yourself in the shoes of being brand new students, and that's kind of tough because you've all been on the mats for a long time. So let's get, you know what, let's start with an activity now. I want you to grab a partner, grab someone that you don't know, that you didn't come with, please. And I want you to make like 2 circles here, okay? Like one person will be here, one person will be here, and you'll make kind of 2 circles, like a track, please. So let's go, grab a partner, please, someone that you don't know, and we'll get started, okay? So it's 2 big circles. Just like we're about to do a big circle dance. Yeah? Yeah. Actually, circle dance. Come here, young lady. Come and help me out. So I said I want you to feel like it's your first day, right? A little bit awkward, a little bit goofy. This is what we're going to do. Try and follow along, okay? Tallest person. Put your hand over here. Grab your partner here. Grab your other partner's hand like that. Come on now, don't be shy. I know everyone's a bit awkward. It's your first day, okay? All right? Everyone got it? No, 1 over, 1 under. Yep. And we're all going to face that way. I know you're trying to watch me already. Now we're going to do this a couple of times, and we might do it till we get it perfect, okay? So let's try and nail it first time, all right? You're going to follow with me. You ready, young lady?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And 1, 2, 3, 4. A 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Switch. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Switch. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Spin your partner, spin your partner, spin your partner. And... and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Oh, no, okay. Huh? Okay.
Come on, try harder.
One more time. You know, we'll talk about demos here. Well, let's do a quick demo. One more demo, okay? Okay, we're going to go a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Switch. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. And then we're going to spin. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. A 1 and a 2 and a 4. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Okay, one more time. Let's nail it. Ready? And there, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2. Now give it a spin, 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 twirl, 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 twirl. A 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. 1. Okay, so you're probably thinking, what the fuck is he having us doing? Or maybe you're asking what it was. The name of that song is called, unironically, The Gay Garden. And we grew up in school, and that was part of our physical education program. We were forced to do this every week, and it was horrible. It was awkward. You had to dance with your pals. It felt like super weird. And then get some whiskey on us, put a kilt on us. It's the best thing we've ever done. So the point I was wanting to make today is that when you come and get new students in, it's awkward for them. It's weird. And we need to find a way to get their guards down, have everyone have a bit of a laugh, and build that culture that way, okay? So for me, again, what works in my gym is making it super friendly, getting everyone moving and grooving. Music's normally pumping, and we'll get to it. I'm going to slip in and out of character today because I want to, when I get the games going, I just want to talk to you like I would be talking to first-time students, okay? So with your partner, get some space right now. Come and help me out. First game, okay? Both sides, we're sparring right away. You've got to try and get behind your partner. Both sides, let's go. 2-minute game. On the bell. 1, 2, 3, ding. Get the back. Use the mat, use the whole mat. Crank it. That's it. If you get the bag, 1, 2, 3, reset. Yep, if once you get it back, if you manage to get it, reset. Time. Okay, so this is as clear or as little instruction as you need to give to someone on the first day. What are we seeing emerging here? Arm drag, right? And what you often hear, well, how will someone know an arm drag if you don't show them an arm drag? So that should be maybe one of our goals as coaches, to see as little as possible and see what comes out. Because I think the more instructions you give people and the more information they're given, they're starting to think, what did coach say, what should it be doing, how should it look? And I don't want to do that. What I do like to do is maybe add some context or a little bit of information on after, and it's okay to give advice, it's okay to give tips. This is something else we talk about, and we think it's, it violates the whole principle if you give someone some information. It does not, okay? But we just need to be careful in how we do it. Young man, help me out. So, just to add a little bit to this, I'm just going to give a little bit of tip. There's better ways, there's worse ways to do things, but if I wanted to get to the back here, just think about getting your partners of elbow either across their center line or across my center line. What do you see there? Boom. Okay, better and worse ways to do things. If I'm holding the fingers, look at all this looseness. Holding the forearm, little less looseness. Holding up here, little less, okay? So let's have one more game of that. You're all brand new, you've never seen this before. Start looking to get your partner's elbow across their center line or your center line. One more round, let's go. 2 minutes, please. Go! Time. Okay, good work. We're going to keep, I have no real how long the games are going to be or how short they'll be. Of course, I'll change that up in my school too, depending on how I'm feeling in the room or how much I want to cram into the class. So I'm just kind of going to see as we go just now. Tell me, what's the invariant there? I'm careful with the word invariant, but what's the invariant of getting behind your partner?
Where the elbow was.
No, sorry?
Partner's elbow position.
Is it always an invariant to get to the back?
Correct.
Yes?
100%.
So, what does it also, like, didn't we have a bit of a fight about this last week, Greg? Maybe similar, not quite the same. I would say it's rotation in some sense, okay? You have to rotate around your partner. So that's, or get past the elbow. But same thing. So when we talk about invariance, be careful with the word invariance because they are very, very few and far between. Okay. Next game we're going. Joey, come and help me now. So next game we're going to play. I call this a 1-1-2 game. Okay. So one side's going to attack for the first round. Other side's going to be offensive for the next round. Then both sides are going to play. Okay. So I want to introduce the concept of framings to brand new students. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about a frame here. So any kind of frame here is the structure that I'm going to do, and I'm going to try and control my partner's hips indirectly through this frame. Now, for him to achieve his goal, which is either getting his grip around my leg or around my waist, he has to get what? He has to get his hands together. So if he can't get his hands together, he can't achieve his task. Okay? So this is all we're going to play. Joey's problem isn't what to do, it's how to do it. Okay? He's going to try and get to my leg or try and get to my waist. Don't get married to this position. As Joey starts to move in and trying to get to my single now, I'm moving around too. Just keeping strong frames and whatever, all right? Nice strong connections for me. Own this space. Everyone got it? 1-1-2, okay? One side's going to be offensive here. Clear the frame however you want. Your only goal is to get to the leg or the trunk. 1, 2, 3 for a win. Yes, sir?
When do we switch between the...
One side's going to go the whole time. We'll just reset, okay? Okay, ready, steady, go, frame. Frame and a grip fine. That's it. Nope, same person the whole time. Same person defending the same person defending the whole time. Oh, there you go. I usually go, depend on beginners, a couple of minutes.
Okay.
90 seconds, sometimes a minute. It just depends. I play around all up and down the scale. It's kind of like a smorgasbord of just little games I'm doing today, so sometime 9:59. I don't want to waste it too long. Oh, this is almost up yet. Time! Okay, switch sides, please. Switch sides. One little thing, even if it's between sides and you feel like one person didn't get the information, I do like to, if I see something going on, if I see something worthwhile commenting on, I'll say something. Joey, come and help me again, okay? And I see this all the time with newer people. When they've got the frame, they're just driving and driving and driving. Sometimes you need to come back out to come back in, okay? So just play around with these pressures, in, out, shake it all about, okay? Switch sides, frame game, ready, steady, go! Time! Okay, I'm conscious of time here, so I'm just zipping through, but just answer, do you think this is games someone can play on the first day? Yes. It's not too overwhelming, right? And it's pretty safe. We've been doing this now for 4 or 5 years. We don't encourage any takedowns or whatnot. Even if you get two bulls coming in and really going for it, they really can't hurt each other too much. So let's put it all together now. Joy, boom. Okay, you're just going to get together. It's the same game now, but both sides. I'm trying to get Joy's leg. I'm trying to get Joy's. Yeah, he's trying to get mine. Trying to get the trunks. 1, 2, 3 for a win. Poof, well, we're working. See if you can get to the back too, okay? Get your hands connected around your partner, if you can. 1, 2, 3 for a win. This time we're sparring. Ready, steady, go! Time! Good work again. So just a little thing about these stand-up games. I know, again, this is only for my room. We use them as warm-up games, and there's a tremendous compound effect of just doing them every day. These little relationships start to build up. You see these little strategies. They're always chasing squareness, looking for inside space. This all comes along for the ride. If you can, I look back with resentment and bitterness when I think of all the fucking time I wasted rolling down the floor like a monkey and shrimping around. So 5 to 10 minutes of this gets a good active warm-up, and there's really no way they can screw it up, and it's remarkable. Most of you have probably been doing this already with your students, but it's remarkable just changing over this, how confident they feel when they start the engagement. And when you think about newer students going to tournaments and stuff for the first tournament, think of the message that sends. When they're like, come on then, okay? And they're ready to stand and go right away. Come and help me again, young man. We're going to play some connection, disconnection games. One of the questions was, do your partners sometimes game the game? And sometimes they do, so you might have to tweak it on you go. None of these games are set in stone. You kind of, pull the levers and turn the dials as you go. Okay, first game's going to be an over-under we're going to start with, okay? The job of one side is to disconnect and get to neutral. The job of I'll go offensive here, is just somehow to get to the body lock or to the single. 1, 2, 3 for a win, okay? One side trying to get away, one side trying to hold. Pretty easy, yeah? Over, under. Yes, sir.
Can you explain what get away means?
Oh, yeah, so when I mean neutrality, boom, going on the inside, boom. Neutrality. Yep, that's what I mean. Yeah, disconnect. Yep. Okay, we use these words interchangeably. Everyone got it? Over under. This is going to be a flip-flop game now. Yes, sir.
Is it just a single leg or body lock is good? Is okay too?
It's single or body. I want the arms connected under the armpits somehow, all the way to the ankles. Okay. Single. Armpits to the arse and down. Yep. Okay. Ready. Steady. Let's go. Over. Under. Work. 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 Flip-flop. Each time there's a win. No takedowns. No takedowns, please. Yep. Yep. Each time there's a win or a disconnection, you just flip sides. Offense, defense.
You guys dance?
Time! Okay, so what do we think? So what kind of behaviors are emerging here now? Yeah. Inside space, little pummeling, framing, okay? Again, things that don't need to be explicitly told, they're just going to emerge organically through these little games, okay? I'm conscious of the time here. Again, sometimes I do a 1-1-2, which will be one side will be more offensive. The other side will be, then both sides will be going for it. But I'm just going to play around with this now. Okay, young man, help me out again. Yes, please.
Playful with your time too, like.
What's that?
You're pretty playful with your time.
Yes, yeah. The time. Don't pay any attention to the times today. We're just doing concepts. This game we're going to play here, and again, we're going to start on the behind my partner here with some kind of lock. Okay. What I want to do here, and this is a continuous game as long as I'm still in the game. I am going to try and go to the leg, boom, 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 back up to the back. Or the hips, back down to the leg again, back up the back. If I could do that all day, I'll do it all day. I don't think I'd get to do it all day with this guy. All right? What do you think the defender should be drawing their attention to or be mindful of? What does the attacker have to do, or the offensive player have to do to achieve his goal? Separate the hands, right? So, do you need to tell your people that explicitly? Maybe. Maybe if they're not getting it. But I try not to front load that, okay? So this is going to be a game 2, and I'm interested to see, I'm sure it will all come out, but I want to talk about this after. Even with beginners, there's a really interesting behavior that really emerges quickly here, okay? So start with a back body lock, trying to go to single to the body, single to the body as long as you can, okay?
Any win conditions for player 2?
Get out, yep, get out and get neutrality, okay? Ready, steady, and go! Yes, sir.
Quick question. Every day, like one of my concepts, I say like maybe 10 times a class. Cover the hands, move the hips.
Yep.
Like.
Yeah.
It's not too much, but just enough, right?
Yep.
Cover the hands, move the hips. Like
yep.
we can always be doing this.
Most of my foundation could be 80% grip fighting.
That's it, right?
Yep.
Whoever wins the grip.
Yep. I said we're going to flip flop each time. Nice. Time! Okay. This one might not be as apparent, but did you, so what behaviors are emerging? Grip fighting. One other thing that never ceases to, it doesn't fascinate me, it's not like wow, but I'm interested in it. Come help me on mine. So ordinarily, I see this all the time, okay? What would Sam do? We're starting to, start basing out a little bit more. When your partner goes to the leg, boom, boom. Intuitively, I'm seeing beginners do this, chase squareness, okay? And so again, this is just another example to reassure you that you don't always need to explicitly tell people what to do. It will come out of the game. Last one, any 2-on-1 you like. Hold it like it owes you money, okay? You're trying to hold this, go from the arm somehow to the leg. If the defender manages to, what did we use today? We used frames, we used chasing squareness, we used grip fighting, we used getting back to neutrality. That's going to be the game now, okay? Any 2-on-1 you like. One tip though, just one little tip. The closer the leg is to the arm, the better chance you have, okay? Ready, steady, last game please. 2-on-1 to a single. Ready, steady, go! Yep, rotate each time if you can get to it. All right. All right, good work. Let's put it all together. You're going to grab a new partner. We're going to do mini matches. Catch and release wrestling, okay? Put it all together, have fun, grab someone that matches up well. We're not doing takedowns. It's a busy mat, be careful, okay? We'll always tell my people, be aggressive, don't be reckless, please, okay? Grab a new partner, 5 rounds, we're outie, okay? Catch and release wrestling, 1, 2, 3, and it's a win.
Just as we go, right? You know what I mean? You guys are trying to set that tone because that's what he wants them to like. Hey man, you're just moving, you're just touching, we're just interacting.
You can just keep that going. Time! New partner, let's go! New partner, please! Ready! Steady! Fight! Nice, 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 nice. Yeah. Time! Okay. We got a few more rounds. Here's something I'm always telling my people, okay? I know we started off with dancing, but when we're wrestling, we're not doing the jazz hands, okay? We are putting our hands on each other, okay? Put your hands on each other. Let's grab a new partner. Let's go. 3 more rounds, please. And time! All right, last round. Last round, last round, last round. Get a partner. Ready, steady, fight! Yeah, and they'll either never come back or they'll sign up for life.
We have a lunch break.
Huh? Yeah.
Dude, like, Scott's mats are fucking fat.
Time! I just wanted to make us today to reassure you some of the stories that we tell ourselves or we told in this community, just be careful with it, okay? We're not dealing with stroke victims when they come in for the most part. They're able to move around. What they need is a bit of confidence and they need a bit of reassurance and be able to feel safe to look silly and not feel silly. And that's why I had to kind of do the goofy thing at the start there, that's all. I was thinking, what is it probably all of you have never done? And I'm pretty damn sure none of you had done the gay garden before. So that's the way we went to that. Is there any questions? It feels like we're trying to ram a lot in here. Yes, sir?
That was a lot of games. How many games on average per class and how long are the rounds?
So it depends. So with newer students, I tend to keep them pretty short. We don't bait and switch our students at my gym. That's what works for us. We build that relationship with it being challenging right from the get-go. Probably a couple of times a month, we have a couple of people barf. They all get a clap. They all get reassured. Oh, it's the first one, and we talk, yeah, I thought it was going to be last week or the second time. So we really want people to come in and feel like it's okay for this to be tough. It's always going to be tough. And we're not going to hold your hand and spoon feed you because that's not what we can do with this approach. Does that answer your question? Yes, sir.
Behind you.
Oh, yes.
If I come visit, how much is private lessons for the gay garden?
The gay garden. I'll give them away for free all day. I'm very generous with my time in the gay gardens.
I know a lot of Greg's classes are either 6 minutes or 10 minutes.
Yes.
Or the rounds are. How many? What do you do for round times for MMA grappling and MMA striking?
Okay, I know it's not. I know it feels like a non-answer when I'm saying it depends, but it really does depend. I do a lot of my MMA in groups of 3, so we can do as low as 45 seconds. You've all heard the term repetition without repetition, so it depends what I'm trying to get out of the. Depends what I'm trying to get out of the activity. So it can be as low as, we do a lot of scramble drills. It can be as low as 20-second drills. So that's very much how what suits the activity and the outcome you're trying to get. I know what Greg does sometimes, he lets you spend a lot of time in that space. So you're getting a lot of time to explore the same problem, but at the same time we can be getting a lot of times to repeat the same problem. So that's my answer, which is a bit of a non-answer, I'm afraid.
When you play these particular wrestling games with beginners, do you find that the head position occurs? Like, does it emerge from the game? Like trying to get head position with the game where they
I think that comes over the time, and that was an interesting a question. You know, I think the approach thus far has been, we're going to learn all these moves, and the game will emerge. I think perhaps, I don't know if you all agree, I think I see it the other way around now. We'll put the rules of the game, and the movements will emerge. And then it's like, well, what's causing the other? So it's kind of circular here. So I do believe that over time, most things will take care of itself. The head positioning became a thing because we're playing the game. And I don't want to, it's not very helpful just to say the game will teach you. But in the same sense, if we get the right parts of the game and start putting it together, it makes a lot of sense. But all our practices are live. I try and be as sparse as possible. Greg made a really interesting point about even the demos should be really sloppy looking. You don't want to give even an idea that there's this idealized technique that you're looking for, because that creates this myopia that this is what they think they have to replicate. And I don't think that's helpful if we're going to be true to what we're trying to do. Yes, sir.
How do you go about submissions, finishing and defending? Are you still dead drilling those, or?
No, there's no dead drilling, none whatsoever. So, so I have a different approach. So, first of all, I don't do much of the grappling. It's mostly striking MMA I do. I do ask this question a lot. What is most of grappling?
Grip fighting.
Well, grip fighting, but it's control, it's jockeying for position. These finishes and these submissions, they're transient moments. But we spend so much time on these transient moments and not the meat and potatoes of what the actual game is. You've probably heard a lot of people talk about this, either flipped classroom or reverse classroom. Every time we open our phone, we've got some submission crammed in our face. I think it is important, and that's, again, for my room, I give a lot of autonomy to my students and people. So they got a lot of time to scratch their itch, and if they saw something, I don't care what they saw, they're going to try some stuff. And when I put them in the different positions, and when we put them in these different positions, they're able to control, as we were talking about yesterday, being able to isolate and immobilize. Then the submission that's in their mind or what they're thinking about is usually not that far away. Submissions just seem to pop up and randomly appear all the time. Now, so excuse me.
You seem to give a little bit of information, not a lot. And how do you choose how much you're going to give? Like you let us do it, and you say, but think about, or you're giving us a little tweak, but you weren't giving. I don't want to know how you decide how much.
Well, I tend to talk fast anyway. I always say, I have this kind of rule, if one person's confused, it's probably their fault. If everyone's confused, it's probably my fault. So if I feel there's like a level of confusion through the room and they're just not getting it, it's not productive. So that's when I'm going to step in. What I try not to do, and which I think we've done for as a sport for years, I try not to give answers to questions no one's asked yet. So I let the game play. This will do another thing for you as coaches, I believe, if it's not doing it already, is you'll start to see the game differently. Because you're not looking for anything specific, and you're going to see all these novel ideas and exchanges come out. And if we're taking ecology seriously, we are continually learning too, because we're always observing novel information. Any more? Any more? Yes, sir.
You did degrees of correctness for the elbow drag, and you're like, oh, the fingers are less effective than the wrist and the elbow. How frequently do you do that in situations?
Again, these are just, I try and not leave people in the dark too much. So again, just general concepts. It's tough today because we're trying to smash in our whole theory and framework into a 45-minute or an hour class, and this is something that needs to be done over time. So you have to play the long game here. And I don't know if you learned anything today. You think you might have learned something today, but is it going to show up next week or the next month or whatever? So start looking. I would start looking at development of yourself and your students over longer time scales, and that maybe takes some of the anxiety away from having to be right. It takes a while, but you'll get there, and it definitely gets easier, in my opinion. Yes, sir.
It's just pure curiosity, but when you're teaching your MMA classes, are you always mixing striking and grappling, or do you ever isolate?
Well, we isolate. We isolate them again. It depends. I'm biased towards, because I'm very passionate about keeping the brain health or as healthy as possible in such a dumb sport. So I've got a very grappling heavy MMA gym, but we do very, very light sparring. But it's always generally holistic. But we do a lot of but we will break it down into components. Yep.
I mentioned this yesterday when Ed was talking, but from a striking viewpoint, how do you deal with athletes that are on the extremes of the spectrum of size? in terms of partnering them up. If they have only one or two partners that are the same size as them or close to them with what they're going to actually see in competition, do you typically keep those guys together, or do you put them with the smaller people, even if you think that might be not necessarily unsafe, but not the best thing for them in their development leading into competition?
Well, I have to be honest, and maybe it's not a good business decision, but if someone's serious about MMA and I don't have the right team for them, I'll probably direct them to another team. We have a lot of young Mexican kids in our area, and they're all 5'2" and 100. So if we never get into MMA, we might get into midget wrestling, you know. But we don't have that problem. But if it was such an outlier, I think it's only the fair thing to do. If they're really serious about their career, I would suggest that I've either got to find, like Greg had that problem, bringing people in, okay, or I have to, you know, what are we trying to do here? I let people go if I think there's a better environment for them.
So if you had a larger person in there who you didn't think you'd get realistic, valuable rounds in for them, you would typically direct them elsewhere?
Yeah, or they, you know, we have a couple of bigger guys and we learn to do with it, but it's not ideal. Yeah. It's not ideal at all, so, yeah. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Kind of by the same token, how do you like balance getting, if you're like into getting more women in your gym while like not disadvantaging the women who are there if you don't have that many? I kind of have that question for you too.
Yeah, we can talk about that for sure.
So just ask me the question one more time.
If you have someone coming to your gym who you don't have like good training partners for,
yes.
Assuming you're starting with like significantly fewer women as like most gyms,
yes.
How do you balance growing that population without like disadvantaging the women who are coming in?
Right, so it's always a tough thing. So again, this is cultural from day one from us. So our foundations class, we do stratify, we have our foundations at kind of all levels and our advanced, but nothing's stopping someone new going into the advanced, nothing's stopping someone advanced coming in the foundations. So there's a lot of integration and mixing. I know it doesn't answer your point yet, but I'll get to it. So we have a lot of lighter guys, and you know, my girlfriend's at the gym, so I keep that. She can roll with, like it's tough for women, right? But when you build a culture where, I don't know why I brought my girlfriend into it. She's relevant here somehow. I think every time I speak to a woman, I have to reference I have a girlfriend. I think that's what it was. We have this culture now where I can put my fighters with brand new women and they know they're totally safe. Because I think the culture, if you look at it like a living, breathing organism, it has to be maintained. Really, I mean, that's a job that never ends. Any sign of a cancer, you have to cut out immediately. So we're very fortunate. We've got a good network of women in the gym, and there's women that are kind of, I call them like the mother hens there. So they really help embrace. They do a lot of things out the side. They go for lunches, all that stuff. So we're really doing well to build that community of women in the gym. But it's tough, and I just remind the guys, I'll shame the guys, I see this a lot. We've got two female fighters and often they're sitting off to the side. It's just not fair because they're missing out on half their development. So just constant talking and creating the culture. But that's up to the modeling and the leadership, right?
Yeah, so I'm doing my master's thesis on MMA and mental health for young adult women. And so it really just like, I'm in the like writing stage and discussion. And culture is a big part. And then it's also like creating spaces for women to also like have like their own good culture. So like there's like, anyway, sorry, I'm just like trying to run through my entire master's thesis in my head and like skim it down to like what would be relevant here. But like basically like what women want, like from my thesis and my study, like what women want is like honestly kindergarten principles. Like you need to ask for consent, or if they say no, like it's no, like that's where consent ends. And so if they're hurt or if they want to step off the mat, like there is no pressure for them to stay on the mat. This goes for anyone, but like it is kindergarten principles. So like ask for or if they say no, it's no. And then in any situation, and then if they're like include them. So oftentimes like women will be paired like 3 together, and so they get less training time. And so sometimes coaches will put 3 women together, and maybe like it takes away from training time. If you've trained for 5 years, you get less training time than the men because you're often with 3 people. So you need to maybe ask the women after or something like that. And be very aware of harassment or like men pushing women. It's a very male-dominated space, and so women won't necessarily go up and talk to male coaches. They might go up and talk to female coaches. They might go up and talk to male coaches if the space is there for them, and they feel comfortable with the male coaches. So it's a lot of like parking your ego as a coach, taking a step back, and then if you're not that person, enabling another person to be there. And one of the really, really great benefits of MMA in general is that mind-body connection, and it really helps with people who have faced trauma. And in particular for women, if you have women training, they're likely doing it for self-defense purposes. And so you also want to be aware of that too. But yeah, you can read my thesis when it comes up.
No,
in 5 years.
Thanks for that. And it was the reason I mentioned my girlfriend earlier. I know we're going to round up here is because you're right. These women can't come talk to me. They're, I'm old enough to be their father. It's just probably weird. I want to keep a safe distance here anyway, but I want to make sure they're supported. So my girlfriend has carefully put a whole network of women, and they all really look after each other. So it's always cultural, right? So, not saying it's perfect, but we do our best, and that's all we can do. All right. Very good.